What's up, fight fans? Welcome to Mr. Mustache MMA News. Today, I want to discuss what's next for the stars of UFC 300, the pay-per-view, the winners, and the losers. But before we get into it, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to continue getting more MMA content by yours truly and help the channel grow. All right, guys, getting right into it. Alex Pereira knocks out Jamal Hill to defend his belt at light heavyweight. Definitive. With the signature left hand. You had them feeling each other out a little bit early on in that first round. Jamal kind of hit him low with that body kick. Her went to step in. Pereira was just like locked in on him. He's like, no, stay away. Like, I got him. And like right away, bam, first shot. Jamal just went right into that power, dude. Fuck. Like, Alex Pereira can do whatever the fuck he wants, right? Like, he was talking about fighting Tom Aspinall at UFC 301 or defending his belt again at UFC 301. He could do that. He very well could do that. And if I'm Dana White, Sean Shelby, Mick Maynard, whoever the fuck, if he comes in asking for that, and if he's healthy, if he passes his medicals, which he should have no problem doing, especially if he goes and fights a heavyweight where he doesn't cut weight, he should be fine. And if Tom Aspinall decides to take that fight, which I'm not really sure if he's going to take that on short notice, he was there. The story's there. But damn, dude, what a performance. Alex Pereira, man, holy shit, that man is good. I mean, he put Jamal Hill's lights out, man. Like, I thought Jamal was going to surprise a lot of people in this fight. Boy, was I wrong. He got caught in the worst way, man. Eyes rolling his back of his head, man. Respect to him. Total gamer. Especially when he realized when he woke up, he's like, ah, shit, I lost. Like, absolute respect. Total class. Great fight. Great performance. Do I think there's going to be a rematch? No. I think for Pereira, he gets Tom Aspinall if that's what he wants. Hopefully Tom signs that bout, because I don't think Tom's going to get John Jones. I don't think he's going to get Stipe Miocic. I don't think he's going to get Cyril Gane. So I mean, this is the biggest fight for the biggest paycheck, the biggest test. It's official. Alex Pereira, I mean, for me in MMA, I mean, this was a fight for him to like really solidify himself. There were still a lot of question marks. The way he beat Erie a little early, he did drop him, of course. The way he beat Jan, I didn't really think he won that fight. Coming off the brutal knockout loss to Izzy. So I thought there was just a little bit of cloudiness there when it came to when it comes to like the greats, right? Because how quick he's risen. But man, fuck. All that is gone now. All that is put to the side. Alex Pereira is a fucking superstar. He is here. And he really could be the first 3 weight class champion. Like, he really could do this. Like, a few days ago, if you said him and Tom Aspinall, I would have said, yeah, he's got a puncher's chance, but I don't think he can do it. But I think we got a good case now. As for Jamal Hill, maybe a Magomed Ankalaev, maybe a Yuri Prohaska, maybe an Alexander Rakic. I'm not really sure how Jan Blachowicz is doing right now with his shoulder surgery recovery. But there's some options. There's a lot going on at 205 right now. So Jamal Hill hopefully rests up. Got caught with a pretty nasty shot. Took some pretty nasty follow-up shots as well. So I'm curious to see what he's going to do moving forward. But I still think maybe Magomed, maybe Yuri Prohaska, maybe a Rakic, maybe Jan Blachowicz. He's still right in that top 5 mix. As for Pereira, Tom Aspinall, or literally whoever the fuck he wants. All right, guys, moving on. Zhang Weili defends her belt in a weird fight against Yan Xiaonan, where it looked like she submitted her at the very end of the first round. It looked like Yan was out, kind of woke up like as she kind of got let go. So it was a little strange that fight wasn't called when that happened. Everybody could see it. So that was a little frustrating. And then Weili went out there, beat the shit out of her again in the second round. And then when she wasn't able to finish her in the second, you saw that gas tank dwindle because she like emptied the gas tank in those first 2 rounds, just beating the shit out of Yan Yanan. And Yan was still there. She's like, come on, let's go. I didn't hear no bell. you saw that happening and gave her a tough fight in that second half of the fight. And tough. You had to see, you saw these girls dig deep, get gritty, get dirty, grappling match. But Zhang turned out to be the victor, defended her belt once again, just shows without Rose being there, she really is just the queen of that division. You know, what's next for Wei Li? I think it's obvious. I think Tatiana Suarez, I've been saying it for years at this point. Tatiana Suarez is the clear number one contender. I'm not really sure how her health is with her neck and her back, but I think that's the fight to make. She's just a clear cut number one contender and deserves that shot next against Zhang Weili. As for Yan Yao Nan, I think Amanda Lemos would be a good fight. Amanda still just kind of right there in the thick of it, so I think a good fight. Amanda Lemos, Yan Yao Nan, you're just going to have both speed, power, great boxing. I think that would be a really good striking matchup. As for the BMF fight, fuck, guys. Holy shit. Max Holloway knocks Justin Gaethje out with 1 second left in the 5th round in a fight that I had Holloway winning 4 rounds 2-1 if that would have been, he was up 3 rounds 2-1, I think, going into that 5th round. As it was, kind of tricked Gaethje into going into that brawl in the last 10 seconds, which was beautiful for us. That was for us. So Gaethje, Holloway, thank you. I appreciate you guys. That was a beautiful moment. One of my favorite moments in UFC history, definitely, last night. It just sucked to be at Gaethje's expense. It sucked to see Gaethje get dropped like that, but I was happy that it was by Max Holloway. Like, does that make any sense? So, as we see Gaethje get absolutely flatlined, it's now put his spot in the lightweight division in jeopardy because he was like the clear-cut, almost number one contender. By him taking this fight, obviously they announced Dustin Poirier and Islam Makhachev next. So for Holloway, he called out Ilia Topuria. I think that's a great fight next because you got Volkanovski healing up. I think it's only right for him to take some time off. So Holloway, I think it would be cool for him to go in there against Topuria. Topuria too, man. I don't know if that guy's just got like ice cold blood in his veins, but like I felt like his facial expression was like, shit, I don't want to fight that guy. So that I think is just a perfect matchup. The story's there. Ilia Topuria, Max Holloway, it's perfect. As for Justin Gaethje, take some time off. That was a pretty brutal knockout. He was kind of taking a beating before that as well. But I think maybe an Arman Tsarukyan or maybe even the Charles Oliveira rematch. I think the writing's on the wall there. I think with Oliveira losing to Arman, which we'll talk about here in a second, I think that just kind of makes perfect sense. But with Arman too, Arman reminds me of kind of like the Bilal Edwards of the lightweight division, where he's just kind of not going to get a title shot. He just can't talk. He wrestle fucks everybody. He's already lost to Islam. So I feel like Arman Tsarukyan is going to be in this weird like limbo of number one contendership, gatekeeper status. Who knows? I could be wrong. The UFC could give him a shot next after the Dustin Poirier fight. But as for Gaethje, I think an Arman Tsarukyan, if they don't give Arman the shot next, and if he ends up waiting a long time, I think against a Gaethje would be a really good fight. But Justin Gaethje and Charles Oliveira Part 2, I think would really make sense, especially with Charlie Olives taking the loss to Arman Tsarukyan. Next up, Arman Tsarukyan defeats Charles Oliveira. I think it was by split decision in a fight that I personally had Oliveira winning because in that 3rd round, I thought him almost getting that finish and getting that choke and him chasing that finish so aggressively and almost having it there in the closing seconds. I thought for me personally, and with me wanting him to win as well, kind of, I thought that was enough for him to steal that round. But the elbows and the control time in the 2nd round and what Arman was able to do with the control time in the 3rd round, even though he didn't land a lot of damage, does make sense why he got the victory as well. So I'm not mad about it. I don't think it's a robbery or anything like that. Arman put up a really, really good, solid victory after getting hurt so bad in that 1st round. But as for Charles Oliveira, he looked good. It's weird because it's like I felt like Arman Tsarukyan lost hype in victory as to where Charles Oliveira gained hype or kept his hype in defeat, if that makes any sense, right? So with Arman Tsarukyan, I think that he should wait for a title shot if he doesn't get one. Maybe Justin Gaethje when he comes back. Maybe a Movsar Evloev. I think those are the 3 fights that make sense most for Arman Tsarukyan. But hey, man, the kid's legit. He went out there, put up a good performance against Charles Oliveira. And as for Charles Oliveira, I think the Justin Gaethje rematch, I think makes full sense. Why did I say Movsar Evloev before? I meant to say Mateusz Gamrot, not Movsar Evloev. I apologize about that. But same thing as well for Charles Oliveira. I think if he doesn't get the Gaethje rematch, I think a Mateusz Gamrot would be a perfect matchup as well for Charles Oliveira at lightweight. But that was a great fight. Both guys, they went out there. They had to really just dig deep. Oliveira having his moments, chasing the finish, dangerous the whole fight. Electrifying. Absolutely electrifying. But last but not least, to start off the main card pay-per-view, we had Bo Nickel, Cody Brundage going head-to-head. The first kind of elevated test for Bo Nickel, which he passed with flying colors. Cody Brundage definitely gave him some resistance, definitely fought back, definitely made it a good fight, a good scrap for Bo Nickel. He really had to go out there and earn it. But it was a good victory for Bo. And next up for Bo, maybe like an Eric Anders, a Gerald Meerschaert. Jacob Malkoun called him out. With Jacob Malkoun coming off of that weird victory over Andre Petroski, I could definitely see that happening with Bo Nickel. That would be a good matchup for Bo Nickel going forward. I know Malkoun's not the biggest name, but with kind of the traction that he's kind of, with the upward trajectory so far that he's kind of been on, that fight would make sense. But maybe a GM3 and Eric Anders for Bo Nickel, I think would be a really, really good fight next for him as well. As for Cody Brundage, puts him in a weird spot, lots of inconsistencies for him, but he looked good in defeat, right? He looked good, showed a good sense of urgency, at times was accepting positions, but wasn't really accepting them as much as he was in the past. He did show more of a sense of urgency in this fight that he did in the past. Looked good, had some good moments, even threw Bo Nickel down. He reversed Bo Nickel at one point. So I'd like to see Cody Brundage stay. I hope the UFC doesn't release him. I'm pretty sure he signed a new deal recently. Now, maybe it was his last fight. I'm not 100% sure. But maybe a Abdul Razak Al Hassan, or I'm assuming they're going to give him some sort of like undefeated Russian, Georgian, Kazakhstan prospect coming up forward, probably in the next 6 months. But guys, that's going to do it for today. That's going to do it for the main card and the pay-per-view. I'm going to be making another couple videos on the prelims and the early prelims tomorrow. So guys, tune in tomorrow for what's next for the winners and the losers of the prelims as well. Guys, if you haven't already, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to continue getting more MMA content by yours truly. Help the channel grow. That's going to do it for today, guys. UFC 300 has fucking wrapped. Mr. Mustache, MMA news out. Let's fucking go, fight fans.